My newsmaker this week is Ramya, the person in the hot seat leading the digital communication strategy for the Congress party and widely credited with having mobilized and energized the Congress campaign on all digital platforms. But of course, in the age of Cambridge Analytica, this is quite literally the hot seat. So Ramya, thank you for taking our questions. Let me start by asking you what's top of the mind. You have this whistleblower testifying before the UK Parliamentary Committee, Christopher Wiley, and he's talking about many things related to the now disgraced analytical data firm Cambridge Analytica. But in that, he makes a statement. He says, I believe that we worked in India for the Congress party. Now, the Congress has steadfastly denied having engaged with Cambridge Analytica. How do you respond to the whistleblower statement then?
I'd like to say that we've never engaged in the past with Cambridge Analytica, and we don't intend on engaging with them in the future. Now, it could be that Cambridge Analytica would have met people from the party or could have sent proposals to the Congress for elections, but I think the most important thing to note is that we've not accepted their proposal and we've not engaged with them.
So you are confirming that while client hunting, Cambridge Analytica could have or has reached out to the Congress party in the recent past?
They have reached out to the Congress party.
That?
Yes, they have reached out and they have sent proposals, but we have not accepted it. And I think not just Cambridge Analytica, right? There have been many agencies from the US and the UK and even Indian agencies. On a daily basis, I receive so many proposals. So I'm sure there are other leaders in the party too who receive proposals.
But see, this
election strategy and what scope of work that they want to do for us. And you know, they want to help the Congress party win because they see potential and they see the Congress party as a force in India today. And therefore, you know, everybody wants to jump the bandwagon and work for us. But we, on principle, right, in the party, we don't hire external agencies. Everything that we build is in-house. Even our data analytics team is in-house. And ideologically, we need to be inclined. And if they are, then we try to bring them on board. But we don't work with external agencies.
So this is the first time I'm actually hearing you confirm that Cambridge Analytica did have some conversations with the Congress. Was that in email or in person?
Well, it could be in person, it could be over email, it could be over phone, it could be through a proposal, right?
But that sounds like a lot of conversation.
Could be, right? Because a lot of agencies do, and just like that, Cambridge Analytica could have also met or, you know, sent proposals to the Congress party, not to me. But I'm saying that's not the issue. The issue is, I mean, what really matters is if we've engaged with them or hired their services, and we have not.
And what was the reason? Because I assume that this proposal went all the way to the top, to Rahul Gandhi himself. What was the reason that the party decided not to engage Cambridge Analytica, given that presumably at that time you did not know any of this controversy attached, and they were this super successful firm that had helped get Donald Trump elected. So, you know, why would the Congress party turn this firm down?
I think because, you know, we believe in an honest way of doing things. We don't believe in manipulation or rigging of election, psychoanalysis. And I think ideologically and also looking at the track record of what they did with Brexit or with Trump's elections, I don't think we are somebody who wants to work with a company like that, first thing. Secondly, like I told you, ideologically they're not inclined, they're more right-wingers, and therefore it didn't seem someone we could work with. And like I also mentioned to you, that everything that we do is in-house. Like even Prashant Kishore, when he worked for us, right, he didn't come as an agency, he came as himself, and he came working within the party.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So even with Praveen Chakravarti, who's heading up data analytics team, he comes as himself, he's working for the party.
Right.
We don't hire external agencies at all. Everything, and even our websites, our apps, everything is built in-house. And the third thing is resources. I mean, we really don't have that kind of money to hire external agencies.
So I'm repeating this, Cambridge Analytica did reach out to the Congress, did have conversations, did maybe send a preliminary proposal, you're confirming that, but you're saying the Congress party made the decision to reject them. That is categorical.
We did not accept it.
Cambridge Analytica did no work for the Congress party, even though there were conversations and proposals that came from their side and were discussed.
Yes.
Okay. the parent company of Cambridge Analytica, SCL, which preceded it, because Cambridge Analytica is incorporated only in 2013 for the United States to comply with US law. SCL existed well before. SCL had an Indian affiliate, KC Tyagi's son, Amrish Tyagi, and Avnish Rai, and others, right? Their website, the Indian affiliate of SCL, claimed to have clients from both the BJP and the Congress. There has been reference to 2012 and work done in the Bihar campaign. What can you tell us about the relationship between SCL and the Congress, if there was one directly, or their Indian affiliate, right, which is OBI, Ovlino Business Intelligence, and the Congress Party, and the Bihar campaign?
Right. Well, I think that, look, I can't really say for sure because I wasn't there around at that time. But from my understanding is that I think their scope of work was limited to surveys and maybe sending text messages or something like that. Nothing, close to what Cambridge Analytica is known to be doing. So I think what's important to note here is that maybe SCL did work for 2011 Bihar elections for the Congress Party. I'm not sure of this, if that's what they're claiming. But it's important to note that their scope of work was limited to just this. So we did not indulge in the stuff that Cambridge Analytica is in the dock for today. And in 2011, we weren't even using social media. We didn't have apps, and we didn't have a fully functional website at that point of time. So nothing of what Cambridge Analytica is accused of doing could have been done by SCL in 2011.
So SCL's India affiliate, OBI, could have worked on the Bihar campaign in terms of poll surveys or number crunching, but not in terms of actually running the campaign. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Now, there's been this bizarre sort of twist in the tail, as it were, because there's been one narrative that suggests that while Cambridge Analytica did approach the Congress Party in 2012,
Cambridge
Analytica didn't exist then, so it had to be SCL. There was an attempt to sabotage and infiltrate the Congress Party. There are references to an unnamed NRI Indian billionaire, to a woman who was the conduit who is yet unidentified. It sounds like the stuff of espionage thrillers.
But it could be true.
But if it is true, again, it would have to mean that there was vast, even to infiltrate the Congress Party, there would have had to be vast contact between the Congress Party and all of these people. And the Congress Party denies that, but at the same time says, please name this NRI billionaire who tried to sabotage us. How can both things be true?
I think, like I said to you, right, that maybe they did work on the 2011 elections in Bihar, and the scope of work was limited to just surveys, and maybe through that they tried to infiltrate into the Congress Party and try to get information and see how we work, strategy, etc., etc. So I can believe that maybe they had some plans with somebody from, it could be the BJP or somebody else, I don't know, trying to sabotage the elections by getting people to spy.
Why do you name the BJP? Is there any evidence? No one has named the BJP yet.
Well, they're the ones who, there are opponents, right? And they're the ones who want to win the election. So obviously, who else would want to see us lose?
But aren't there contradictions in the story? Because on the one hand, the argument is we barely had any contact with these guys. If SCL worked through its India affiliate, it was only for poll service, etc.
Well, maybe when we hired
On the other hand, we're hearing this long, elaborate story of an attempt to infiltrate and sabotage us.
So, Barkha, I think that, the sabotage thing is something that even I'm hearing now from the media, right? So maybe when we hired SCL, or the person they were in touch with who hired these guys to just do surveys, etc., wasn't really aware that he was being paid by somebody else to sabotage us. And it was only later, which is why it makes us all the more cautious today that we don't hire external agencies. And this is one of the reasons why.
I want to bring you back to Christopher Wiley's testimony.
Right.
Christopher Wiley has, by him suggesting that the Congress was a client, by him referring to India files, saying that he's going to hand over these India files, the Congress maintaining that no, we never hired Cambridge Analytica. Is there other information that Wiley could put out that would embarrass you, like a trail of emails, like meetings? You are saying that those conversations did take place.
Look, I'm saying that it doesn't matter if somebody met the Cambridge Analytica guys or that we received proposals from Cambridge Analytica. It doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is we did not accept it. And just like Cambridge Analytica, on a daily basis, many companies from the US and the UK keep sending us proposals, asking for appointments, asking to meet us, want to make presentations, etc., etc. So the emphasis here is that we never engage with them. So I'm not worried that Christopher Wiley is going to produce a document that says that we've engaged with them.
You're not worried about what he may put out?
No, because I know for a fact that we've never signed on the dotted line, we've never gone into a contract with them, we've never hired or engaged their services.
And you're saying conversations which are a prelude to that don't prove anything according to you?
It doesn't matter, right? Like I can be in a conversation with anybody. I can be in a conversation with any
But
agency.
did they send you a proposal that you turned down?
Yeah, we did. I mean, we receive proposals all the time. So Cambridge Analytica did send us proposals, but we didn't accept it. We didn't even revert. I mean, like, we didn't take it forward.
Okay, let me come to the larger sort of battle over the political apps between your party and the BJP. Now, Rahul Gandhi went onto social media and directly accused the Prime Minister of playing big boss on citizens, right?
It's true.
How do you substantiate that beyond rhetoric? Because the argument from the BJP is that this is just like Google Analytics, that basically as users, when we download the Namo app, it asks us, can this app have access to ABCD? And the moment we consent, we have given our consent.
But do you give them consent to share your private information with a third party? No. With the US firm CleverTap? No. Do you know what they're sharing? Do you know how much of it they've given? Do you know how much they have access to? No. Because none of us really read the fine line, right? We don't. We don't read privacy policies. You have
we never read those long terms and conditions, and you just click I agree without seeing anything. But that's true for all apps that we download. This is not particular about the Namo app.
With the Congress party, right?
Yeah.
We had a app called With INC, which is primarily a membership app, okay? Right. And we used to ask people to enroll to become a member through the app, and it also had some social media updates and all of that. Now, 6 months ago, we decided to transition the membership from the app to the website because we weren't getting too many downloads on it and it was just becoming an extra asset to take care of, and we wanted to transition to the new website. So 5 months ago, we removed it. Now, when this Elliot Alderson guy, this French researcher, he exposed the Namo app, he said that if you become a member through the INC membership app and he put out a link, he said that this is unencrypted and the servers are based in Singapore. Now, that link, if you click on it, it says server 404 error, etc., whatever, and people who clicked on that link that day thought that we had removed it after he tweeted, which is not true.
Well, he said himself that he thought, because after his raising questions on the vulnerabilities of the Namo app, he said, oh, I've got some interesting material on the Congress app. And in the next 24 hours, almost preempting what he was going to do, you deleted the app from the Google Play Store.
I'll tell you, I have proof, and I will show you that the membership was removed from the app 6 months ago.
Not in response to Elliot Alderson's tweet?
No, that was the whole thing, right? But because he shared that link, and when people clicked on it, it said it was defunct and there was a server error. Everybody thought we pulled it out then. So then, because people were being misled into believing that there was a breach of data, because they were made to think that we were collecting membership data, personal data through the app, and that there was a breach of data, people were getting panicky, and that's the reason why I had to remove it.
But why did you not delete the app earlier? Because that's why people thought
because
that
the people who had downloaded the app used to receive social media updates.
Okay.
So that's why we didn't pull it down.
And how do you respond to the fact that even when it was first created, you now call it defunct, why was that information going to a Singapore server? Because Elliot Alderson, one of the things he said was, why not an Indian server?
So the domain was hosted in the Singapore servers, but the data, the backend data was stored in our servers in Bangalore.
Right.
And one other thing that I'd like to mention is that we use Amazon cloud services, right? So way back in 2015, they hadn't started their services in India, and we wanted the best secure servers for us, and therefore we had hosted this domain and the membership app on the servers in Singapore. But right now, the website and everything else and all the membership data, volunteer data, everything that we have, we still use Amazon, but they're now in India, and then it's based out of Mumbai.
So how do you make the accusation that you do against the BJP on the Namo app? I want to come back to that, because you've said that ours was benign, ours was already defunct. What is the distinction? Explain to people who may not have followed this controversy. What is the distinction between the INC app before it was taken down and the Namo app?
We never shared information with any third party, even though we could have. We never did.
The Singapore server, you say, doesn't count as a third party?
No, the Singapore server is just hosting the domain. That's it. We don't store any data there. That's in our Bangalore servers.
Okay.
And even our website today, like I said, is still using Amazon Cloud Services, but it's based out of Mumbai. The problem is, while we can and you're allowed to we don't share any personal information, and this is only with consent, and we will tell you if we are, and we use only public data that's available, that's with permission, whereas the BJP doesn't do that. For example, you and I think in 2016, we all received emails one Sunday from the PMO's office, right? And this is not an email that I've used to subscribe or to any newspaper or book a hotel or book a flight. How did he have access to my email? How did he have access to so many of our emails? How is it that people still receive messages from him?
So you're saying the Prime Minister's emails, which I think most of us do receive from time to time.
Did you give him consent? Did you give your email address to him? Saying please email me and I subscribe? No, you didn't. And I had to unsubscribe 3 times. Because the first time, second time, they wouldn't let me unsubscribe.
So your argument is that email was procured without your consent, your email address?
Yes.
But you know, most people's email address sit on Google somewhere in any case, even if we have used our email address anywhere.
But that doesn't mean people
or
can
use
it,
right? Phone
right?
number.
That doesn't mean people can use it. Now, just because you've given your card details and you've allowed someone to store it on some website.
It's like mailers, right? People send out bulk mailers all the time.
No, but that should
private corporations.
No, but that's not supposed to happen is what I'm saying. They're supposed to seek your permission. Like even when you book something online and they ask you if they can store your card details, etc. Does that mean that they can give your card details to anybody now? They can't.
So what are you accusing the BJP of? Define what you're accusing the Prime Minister's.
And I'm saying that because they have access to your OTPs, your passwords, to any, they can do anything tomorrow.
So what
you wouldn't even be aware of it.
So what is your specific allegation on the NAMO Act?
I am saying that the data with them is not secure and they're sharing the information with third parties without your consent.
I want to come to the larger philosophical conversation on why data has become such a controversy, right?
Data is oil.
Data is oil, information is power, yes. But does it really change the way, do people lose elections or does data make you win or lose elections?
Brexit, 2014.
But playing to a popular sentiment, but playing to an already existing set of circumstances. For example, even in America, they say if Hillary Clinton had worked harder on 3 particular states, this election outcome may have been different, right? Brexit also plays to an existing, there has to be an existing sentiment that data can exploit, right?
Yes.
How has this data war changed how a party like the Congress, and I ask you this particularly because you're seen to be this person who came and gave direction to the Congress digitally. The Congress was a dinosaur digitally earlier, right? How has data and digital media changed how the Congress party is learning to do a new kind of politics?
See, I'll tell you, everybody's time is very important, okay? Everybody's really busy and you're giving me 1 minute to convince me as to why you want to vote for me. And I should be able to pitch to you in that 1 minute. But for me to be able to make the right pitch to you, I need to know what your likes are, what your dislikes are, who you are, what you want to hear from me, what your problems are, and what exactly you're interested in. Without knowing that, I'm just going to make a random pitch and I may or may not convince you, right? But for me, what would be really important is that I convince you and I say the right things that you want to hear because then I know I have your vote. And that's why data is very important.
So Ramya, can you confirm that you are the person that we must credit for the fact that Rahul Gandhi sounds more alive, more engaged on Twitter? Suddenly there's more acerbic, caustic sarcasm to his tweets. Suddenly there's more humor. Suddenly he's using it a lot more. That is seen to be your voice, as it were.
No, it's all him. He tweets himself and all.
Do you write his tweets?
No, I don't write his tweets. He writes it himself.
So what explains the change?
I just think that, he's someone who's very private as a person, but he's very vocal on issues and things that pertain to the party and the country. But as an individual, I think he's quite reserved. And I think for him to come out on Twitter and just sort of voice his thing took him some time. But you're seeing a side of him that most of you haven't had access to and not seen him that way. But this side exists and this is who he is actually. He's very witty, he has a very good sense of humor. He's very sincere, he's very honest. That's what you're seeing and that's what I think people are liking and they should have seen that side of him before. You've only seen him making these bhashans and being a politician and all of that.
But is there a team that writes his tweets led by you or does he really write his own tweets?
Well, we do have we do converse and there are people from his office who are also involved in this and there's a lot of, it's not just, I want to do this or whatever, there's always consultation between us, but it's mostly him because he handles his Twitter account. So he knows what he wants to say and how he wants to say it. So he goes ahead and tweets.
Is there a danger of the Congress becoming too much like the BJP on Twitter? Like, how do you set an identity, a digital persona for yourself that is different from the BJP? Because I speak as a journalist that, often we're accused of bias all the time, right? No, it happens. You and I have had a few friendly arguments on Twitter. It's fine. It's part of your job, part of my job. But the reason I'm asking you this is, the Congress had to play catch up on the digital game because the BJP was there first, right? So how do you demarcate an identity, a digital personality for yourself that is not that of your competitor?
So I'll tell you what, there was this one narrative, one voice that the BJP had online, right? And then there was this void. There were that many people who wanted the Congress to speak up because who did not believe in the ideology of the BJP, but who, like us, right, who believe in our ideology of pluralism and inclusive society and just being liberals, basically, right? There was a void. And what we did was we just became the voice of the people, and so people started resonating with us because finally there was the other voice also. There was also another narrative. And I think that's when more and more people who were on social media joined the voice and started amplifying it online. That's what it is.
Okay, in the end, I want to come back to where
but
we
there's
started.
a big difference between the BJP and us.
And that difference is?
We do not troll, we do not abuse, we do not hit below the belt, and we definitely don't spread fake propaganda. And whatever we speak is nothing but the truth.
Okay, we'll have a separate conversation on trolling and digital campaigns. I want to end by taking us back to where we started, Cambridge Analytica. The Union Minister Ravi Shankar Prasad says Rahul Gandhi and the Congress must apologize because what you said on Cambridge Analytica was disproved by Christopher Wiley, right? I ask again, and I ask you to underline this. Has Wiley punctured the Congress campaign or the Congress position, very aggressive position where you actually sought to say it's the BJP who was a client. The BJP says you were a client.
Yeah, the BJP is a client, and you know that Himanshu Sharma put out on his LinkedIn page that he had worked with them in the past, and we know for
in
a
the
fact.
same way that Amrish Tyagi and Avnish
No,
Rai
but the
claimed
scope
that
of
they
work
worked
was
for the
very
Congress
different.
as well.
The scope
What
of
is
work
the
was very
difference? What is the difference?
2014, there's Cambridge Analytica scope of work was completely different. What SEL did probably in 2011 for the Bihar elections was completely different. They were just doing surveys and whatever. This was complete manipulation. This was complete, scraping of data and misuse of personal information.
We don't know that. We know that in the American context.
No, but that's because Cambridge Analytica started in 2013. Right?
Yes.
And we had our elections in 2014.
Yes.
And he claimed that they worked on Mission 272. What does that mean?
So you're saying it's the BJP that's...
I'm not worried about what Christopher Wiley is going to produce because I know for a fact, and I can tell you this, that the Congress party has never hired...
Despite conversations and possible meetings?
Yes, that we've never accepted.
But you will not disclose the details of this proposal in these meetings?
Well, I haven't had a look at it, but I know what it would be about. It's just about how to go about the 2019 elections and what you should be doing and in what areas they can work, etc. Which is, I mean, every other proposal is pretty much the same, okay? Everybody does the same thing now. But we did not accept it. We've never hired their services and we don't intend on hiring their services in the future.
Pleasure talking to you, Ramya.
Thank you so much, Barkha. Thank you.